Alright everyone, welcome back. Obviously I haven't really been uploading, but it's fine. I'm gonna try and get back in regular stuff, yada yada yada. Bearcti, this is a new deck. It's Gundam. I wanted to take a look at it. Let's check it out. I have read through a few of these, and there's a few things I want to get off my mind real quick, so let's Bearcti, Mikpola, unless I'm assuming that I'm pronouncing that correctly, because, you know, fuck my life. So they all have the same summoning condition, so I'm not going to go over it, but it's during the main phase, tribute a level 7 or higher monster in your hand, special this from your hand, and you can't special monsters for the rest of the turn except monsters that have a level. And then, if it's specialed, add a Bearcti monster from your deck to your hand. This summoning effect is really weird. It is a neg-1 on most cards, but they're all hand traps. So it kind of creates like a kind of pseudo sci-frame effect, I guess, where you'll be able to hand trap your opponent and stuff, because there are some that have interaction, but Mikpola specifically, this helps even out your stuff. So obviously this is a 3-of because it's a searcher. It's a really weird searcher, and I don't know if they're going to get other ways to facilitate each of these cards. Maybe there will be some kind of like specific variant, like a pendulum variant or something, but this is interesting to say the least. And there's Mictonus. It's a mix of the Asian black bear, and it's a mix of Thibitanus plus micro, so I'm assuming all the level 7s are called micros or something. If it's special, target a Berkt monster in grave, add it to hand. This is good, it's recursion, this helps you deal with all the tributing effects. And by itself, it's pretty much a free special, so that your other Bearktis that you summon can actually get their effects off, like the ones with interactions. So it's another 3-of. I honestly would run it. Bearcti McBillis. I'm sorry if I'm just butchering all these names. If it's special a Bearcti from your hand. Important thing about this guy, the Bearktis do not they don't need to be specialed by their own effects to trigger. So you can go McBillis into Polaris, search a monster, stuff like that. And because it's a quick effect, obviously, you know, hand trap stuff. So this is really good for turning on your other things that we're going to get into here. Megapola. This is one of your level 8s. So I believe these 3 are level 8s, right? Okay, yeah, these are all level 8 tuners. And this is where the archetype starts getting weird. So the tuners all have the interaction effects. So if it's special, target a spell or trap on the field and pop it as long as you control another Bearcti. It's alright. This artwork is really, really good. Like, I'm just gonna say that now. But the effect itself is okay. Like, it's just a spell or trap pop. I would have preferred for it to just be a pop, period. I don't think that would have been super overpowered. Megatonus. If it's special, don't control another Bearcti, Book of Moon something. It works. Book of Moon is obviously a really good card right now, and being able to like Book of Moon your opponent's zoo monster is not bad. Like Book of Moon really just won't go out of style as long as there's like decks in the format that use monsters that need to be face up. So basically every format where links aren't dominating or there's a flip deck that's meta for some reason. So this thing's alright. Then Megabilis. If this is special by you control another Bearcti monster, target a card in your opponent's graveyard, banish it. It's a DD Crow. DD Crow is another really good card, but it's kind of format dependent, so I guess just like this guy will see more and less usage depending on the format. Polari. This is where the stuff starts getting weird. Now, for those of you that don't know, this is our first, like, Dark Synchro archetype. Like, they take the mechanic of Dark Synchro from the anime, and they put it into this archetype. So, each of the synchros has to be special summoned by sending a tuner and a non-tuner whose levels, like, differ, right? So, let's say that you want to summon Polari. You would need a level 8 and a level 7, and then send them to the graveyard to special Polari. Why would you want to do that? Well, when Polari is special, you get to activate Bearcti Big Dipper from your deck, which is your field spell. And then you contribute a level 7 or higher to add it to your hand, or special summon a Bearcti from your graveyard. So, once again, this triggers the Bearcti effects, so you can just keep doing stuff. It's pretty neat. One thing that I was kind of thinking for this deck, it might be possible to create like a Saryuja engine in it to draw into your pieces and special them, then trigger them. Because Saryuja's obviously like a really good card still. So then here's their cover card, Boss Monster Guy. Must be specialed by sending a level 8 or higher tuner and one non-tuner synchro whose level differ by 7 to the graveyard. The effects of all face-up monsters special summoned from the extra deck that have no level are negated. So it's like half a Unicorn, except it hits like the worst monsters technically, because XZs and Links are always going to be more relevant than Synchros and like fusions. So it's like the worst half of Unicorn, but it's another thing that's really format dependent. So it could just be, you know, something like that. And then if your opponent's specials, you can add a Bearcti card from deck to hand. I don't think I need to explain why that's good. Just searching in general is good. All of your Bearctis are quick effects, so this thing's going to keep facilitating you, like, getting those guys. So, you know, it's alright. I kind of prefer it to this guy. So, Bearcti Grand Chariot. If it's special, target 2 other cards on the field, pop them. That's a fine effect, not crazy. It's the same summoning condition that's on Septon Tryon, but I don't know, it's a little bit weirder. Also, this artwork is really, really good. So, Grand Chariot's other effect. When a card or effect is activated that targets a Berkt you control, you contribute a monster from hand or field to negate it. That's I wish it was just a card or effect, but something that targets is also fine, I guess. There's plenty of stuff that targets. There's triple tactics talents, for example. Like, there's Drident's effect, stuff like that. So, there's lots of stuff that targets, and there will always be things that targets, but I do wish this was just any effect, because you're putting in so much effort to try and get this guy. Then there's Bearcti Big Dipper. Once per turn, if you attribute a monster activated Bearcti effect, you can banish a level 7 or higher Bearcti from your graveyard instead. So it helps you facilitate your nonsense there. Each time a monster is specialed, place 1 counter on this card. Once per turn, if a monster is specialed, you can remove all counters from this card. Then target 1 monster your opponent controls, take control of it. And then you can only activate that while there's a Bearcti. So what's really worth noting about this is that it puts your opponent on a kind of a timer almost, because let's say your opponent's trying to like pop off. If you have that, then once you get to like 7, you can just do whatever. Like it's kind of like the same type of effect that Nibiru would have on your opponent, but a little bit worse because they know that it's coming, but you also get to just take what they have. So if they try and make like a boar load or something under it, it's just yours now. So that's an alright effect. I like it. I'm mainly going to be using it for the first effect, obviously, but I like the third effect. I think it's a neat gimmick. Then Bearcti Slider. Target a Bearcti monster that's banished from your grave, special it, and then it can't attack. You have to special monsters with levels and destroy during the end phase. What's worth noting, once again, this triggers the Bearcti like monster effects, as they don't need to be specialed by their own effects to activate. That's really good and very very, like, actually good card design by Konami. You don't have to, like, go gladiator beasts on this. So, good. We're not that restricted with our archetype design here. We can do a lot of things with this. But, obviously, it still has that level restriction, which means no XD. So you're not making Hope Harbinger or Draco Sack or stuff like that. And you're not making Apollosa. Like, that's just a fact. You're not going to make Apollosa, so yay. And then the last one is actually one that I'm kind of a fan of. Bearcti Quint Charge. Once per turn, pay 700 to activate one of these effects. Add a Bearcti from graveyard to hand, so it helps deal with your tributing problem. And then tribute 2 Bearcti monsters, and we do special a Bearcti from your extra deck whose level equals the difference between those monsters' levels, ignoring its summoning condition. So I am a wee bit Pepega brain on this, but essentially this means that you get to quick effect Synchro. If you have your Polaris and whatever else, you're fine. One thing that I will note about this archetype, though, it might be worth it to run some kind of like other engine in it that helps you facilitate level 1 monsters a lot. So you can actually like summon your synchros without having to go into the baby bear. Unless they give us another like better baby bear, I don't know if Polaris is going to be worth making every single time. And then its other effect is really weird. If your Bearcti monster is destroyed by battle, you can have your opponent shuffle cards from their hand, field, and graveyard into the deck until they have a total of 7 around them. So it's like you either make your opponent put a bunch of graveyard setup back, you force them to like dump their hand, you force them to dump their field, stuff like that. So it's okay, punishes your opponent for not having a card effect out of them, but it's still really weird. I don't know, it feels a little bit too balanced in my opinion, so we'll just have to see what happens there. And then in other news, they're reprinting Ayers Rock Sunrise. So, yay for this archetype. It's a thing. It's really weird, but it has a cool card design. It's not that restrictive outside of the level stuff. And it brings the Dark Synchro mechanic to fruition, which I know a lot of people have been waiting for a very long time. So, thank you for watching. This was a video made by me, who's tired and just trying to talk about Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Thanks for listening to my ramblings, and have